When man is sensitively aware of the findings of spiritual investigation, namely that through knowledge of the organs the cosmic man returns, that this return can to some extent lead to an understanding of Christ, when all that is disclosed to occult investigation and insight is admitted into the initiate consciousness and becomes an integral part of his sentient life, then through feeling the divine manifests in the terrestrial, and this is the province of art. Through feeling, art embodies half-consciously that which man receives from the spiritual world, along those paths of return of which I have spoken. In all ages, therefore, it was those who were predestined to do so by their karma who clothed the spiritual in material form. Our naturalistic art has abandoned the spiritual approach. Every high point in the history of art depicts the spiritual in sensuous form, or rather raises the material into the realm of the spiritual. Raphael is valued so highly because to a greater degree than any other painter he was able to clothe the spiritual in sensuous representation. Now, in the course of the history of art, there existed a general movement which tended more to the plastic or graphic arts. Today, we must once again inject new life into the plastic arts, for the immediacy of the original impulse was lost years ago. For centuries, the impulse toward music has been growing and expanding. Therefore, the plastic arts have assumed a musical character to a greater or lesser extent. Music, which includes also the musical element in the arts of speech, is destined to be the art of the future. The first Goetheanum at Dornach was conceived musically, and for this reason its architecture, sculpture, and painting met with so little understanding. And for the same reason, the second Goetheanum will also meet with little understanding, because the element of music must be introduced into painting, sculpture, and architecture, in accordance with man's future evolution. The coming of the figure of Christ, the spiritually living figure, which I referred to as the culminating point in human evolution, has been magnificently portrayed in Renaissance and pre-Renaissance painting, but in future will have to be expressed through music. The urge to give a musical expression of the Christ impulse already existed. It was anticipated in Richard Wagner and was ultimately responsible for the creation of Parsifal. But in Parsifal, the introduction of the Christ impulse into the phenomenal world, where it seeks to give expression to the purest Christian spirit, has been given a mere symbolic indication, such as the appearance of the dove and so on. The communion has also been portrayed symbolically. The music of Parsifal fails to portray the real significance of the Christ impulse in the cosmos and the earth. Music is able to portray this Christ impulse musically, in tones that are inwardly permeated with spirit. If music allows itself to be inspired by spiritual science, it will find ways of expressing the Christ impulse, for it will reveal purely artistically and intuitively how the Christ impulse in the cosmos and the earth can be awakened symphonically in tones. Then, within the configuration of the tones, man will be able to conjure forth an immediate realization of the supersensible and express it musically. The Christ impulse can be found in music. That is, when we have made strides in the realm of pure music and discover therein the essence, the fundamental spirit which can conjure forth a world through tones. Without doubt, the musical development I have described will one day be achieved through anthroposophical inspiration if mankind does not sink into decadence. And ultimately, and this will depend entirely upon mankind, the true nature of the Christ impulse will be revealed externally. I wish to draw your attention to this because you will then realize that anthroposophy seeks to permeate all aspects of life. This can be accomplished if man, for his part, finds the true path to anthroposophical experience and investigation. It will even come to pass that one day the realm of music shall echo the teachings of anthroposophy, and the Christian enigma shall be solved through music.